this moving. It's Young People Nation.
Welcome to Young People Nation. Listen to us weekly as we commit to bring transparency, healing, and truth to the everyday situations in life that might bring you down. Join us for your weekly dose of inspiration. Thank you for listening to Young People Nation. Make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And now, here's your host, Eugene and Donna Perry.
Let's go. Christ is the foundation. Know his word gon' lead us. Know I'm already going. Taking steps I believe in. Giving guidance to the youth. Giving guidance to the lost. Giving the world to the project. Lead them back to the cross.
Welcome to Young People Nation, and this is us, right?
All the time.
Yeah, it's God and us, right?
All the time.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, we are just blessed to have Mr. Simmons 1 and 2, the Quincy
Yes, ma'am.
and Daquan.
Yes, ma'am.
Got it right, man.
Yeah.
I was like, I got
And
it.
I'm Eugene.
Okay. Well, you're well known up here, bro. Okay. Well, we're honored to have these two gentlemen, father and son. Daquan, got it right, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you were born in Virginia, but you were shaped in the community of Augusta, Georgia.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and Dad, you're from here,
I am.
born and raised.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so we're gonna dive into the journey of Daquan. He shared with us that he deals with ADHD. And for our audience that don't understand what that means, it's attention deficit hyperactive disorder. Okay? Thank you both so much for coming.
Thanks for having us.
For
Okay.
real. Thank you.
Like for
Appreciate
real? Like for real?
you. On everything.
On everything, okay? Well, we'd like to first thank God. We want to thank our sponsors and supporters who are just constant. Thank you guys so much. It's a lot of them. So we are grateful for the community. You got to have that community to help you get to where God is telling you to be. So we're grateful.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, let's dive in with Daquan. Now, Daquan, you shared with us that you was diagnosed with ADHD around 6 or 7.
Yes, ma'am.
Talk about it.
So it was how can I begin? So it was always something, but I just never knew what it was.
Okay.
It was me being up throughout the night. It was me having little problems in school. It was me making friends was never a problem.
Okay.
I was always an outgoing kid. I was being nice to teachers, being nice to people around me was never a problem.
Okay.
Getting my work done was never a problem.
Okay.
It was me sitting in one spot for a long period of time. That was the big issue.
Okay.
So me moving around and doing things, sometimes I can get a little overwhelmed and sometimes I can do the extra and it'll get me in a little trouble.
Okay.
So I got in trouble a lot, not really understanding why.
Okay.
But I understood why I was getting in trouble, but I didn't understand what was going on with me, if that makes more sense.
It makes sense.
So I spent a lot of time in the principal's office as a kid. Got to the point where the principal was like my best friend
Oh, wow.
because she had an idea, but she didn't really fully understand.
Okay.
So a lot of my principals really got close to me growing up. So it got to the point where I really would do my work around them. And then basically they could understand that I can really sit in the classroom for a long period of time. So they would take me around the school, do errands with them to really keep me contained. When I was ready to go to class, I would go. When I didn't want to be in class, they would take me. And it was just nice to have that leeway as a youngin'. Because a lot of kids didn't get that luxury that I got.
Okay.
So it was nice.
That was wonderful.
Thank you.
For the educators to recognize that there was something a little different and that you just wasn't being out of character.
Exactly.
Yeah, you're very fortunate that you have adults that cared, and plus they took time out of their busy schedule to see for your personal needs.
Yeah, it was really nice.
So, the energy, not sleeping, those were some of the functions that you dealt with.
Yes, ma'am.
So talk about that energy.
So, I deal with it now. Honestly, I still rarely sleep, and it's really never been a problem to me because like I realized what I had to do to get rest. So I had to really like physically tire myself out. So that was like my main goal once I realized that as a youngin', you know, I go outside, you know, run around, be in the sun as much as possible because the sun is really draining. So I just wanted things to really drain me throughout the day so I could go back in the house, you know, eat, take a shower, bathe, do what I had to do. So by the time I got into bed, you know, I was ready to go to sleep. Just don't give me anything to do while I'm in my room. So, but you see, as a kid, you know, I had a lot of handheld games.
Okay.
So I had, you know, Game Boys. I had, you know, I had DSs growing up. So that really kept me up throughout the night. You know, because that kind of really started my little gaming journey. So, you know, I used to beat my games throughout the night. You know, sometimes I, you know, get under my blanket, you know, play the game when I wasn't supposed to. But, you know, as a kid, you know, you got to be diabolical sometimes.
Yeah, y'all be trying.
You got to be diabolical sometimes.
So the advice you would give parents is to take away the electronics.
Yeah, I would say, you know, I wouldn't say force it away because sometimes, you know, we'll understand, like we'll play a few rounds and then eventually, you know, we'll close it and then we know it's the freedom sometimes.
Okay.
We actually enjoy the freedom to a certain extent, but we know our boundaries and we know what we need to do. Like it might be like maybe an hour or two like after we're supposed to be in bed, but literally I would say before like 10 o'clock, we're normally knocked out. It didn't really take a lot to really knock us out, but it's really good to really pay attention to us because like we can get that upper hand and sometimes we can take advantage of your niceness just because we know we have a problem and we know you're trying to understand it.
Okay, so Dad, talk to us about learning about him with ADHD as a parent.
Well, I had already knew it was something going on with him, but at that time I didn't know how to pretty much dissect what was going on with him. You know, and then as he got older, you know, then I was able to see, you know, because I was in school with a lot of people just like that. And a lot of teachers assign kids like that to like the special hall because they didn't understand what was going on with them at the time, you know. So once I got to understand what was going on with him, I didn't really want him to take the medicine.
Okay.
You know, because he started to take the medicine. And I wasn't a big fan of him taking the medicine. You know, so all he needed was just a little more structure.
Okay.
And for somebody to actually understand what was going on so they can accommodate what he had going on.
Okay.
You know, and he didn't really have that growing up, in my opinion.
Okay. Wow.
I must commit you to that because you really went out there and found a way to communicate with your son and also to give him construction to his life and still just go to bed and don't say nothing else or get a whipping and don't come out the room or so forth like some parents do. You actually took time out to understand.
Right, but that came later though.
Yeah.
That came much, much later because his early part of his years, I wasn't really a part of that.
Yeah.
Okay. But you know what? But I'm like my husband. But you didn't just be like, oh well, you know, because that's what some parents do. They be like, oh
Absolutely.
well, you know.
Absolutely.
But you recognize your son needed you,
Right?
and so that form of what's the word you use? Structure.
Structure.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Daquan, you talked to us about the meds and in school when you was in school. Talk to us about that if you don't mind. And
no problem whatsoever. So with the medicine, in the beginning, I would say it wasn't that bad because the dosage wasn't that bad. So in the beginning of me had taken Adderall and everything, it was a low dosage. So I really didn't get a lot of effects. You know, I was fine. Like everything was good. You know, I had more control with the low dosage, but I guess my grandmother realized that I still had more control and the medicine wasn't doing what she wanted it to do.
Okay.
So she upped the dosage.
Okay.
With upping the dosage, added a lot more problems to me, physically and mentally.
Okay.
So physically, I felt like a zombie. I felt sick to the stomach, like I didn't want to do anything, but my mind wanted to do things. So I was like, you would say, like an android, you put it in front of me, I finish it, but that was it.
Okay.
Like, it was like straight to the point. Like, you threw any assignment in front of me, I could get it done in a snap. No hesitation, no problem. But that was it. And I would sit there until the bell rung. I wouldn't say anything.
Disconnected.
Disconnected from life, disconnected from the world, disconnected from everybody around me. Like I wanted nothing to do with anybody.
Wow.
And I would just, and my teachers were like really worried because I'm an energetic, happy kid. So when the most happiest, energetic kid, and you would say like in our grade or like in our class and everything, doesn't do anything like that anymore, it's kind of concerning to everybody, especially to like my favorite teachers who really enjoy having me around, and then my friends who I had classes with. Like, it actually frightened them in a way. Like, they were scared. Like, I got sent to the counselor and the nurse's office a lot because they were really concerned about my health, and they were really concerned about what was really going on. But when the nurse realized what I was taking, she said, you might be taking a dosage too high for your body to contain.
Because you're slender built.
Exactly.
Right.
So, but to my grandma, it was working.
Okay.
So that's my guardian. I had to listen. There was nothing else I could do. I mean, I told her what was going on, but she was like, well, as long as you're getting your work done, I don't see a problem.
All right, parents, you must take in consideration that your child, grandchild, niece, they're individual people, and they have individual lives, individual likes. You cannot conform them to a state of what is more easier for you. It's not about you; it's about them.
Yes.
And I'm sure you would not want to walk around looking like a zombie and not knowing what day it is or what time it is, and just to keep them quiet for your convenience. You had to take time out of your busy schedule to consider others.
Absolutely. You know, being a parent is an investment. You understand?
It is.
And you, whatever you plan on doing, you got to kick that to the side because that child, and just like we were just sharing outside, we have made major decisions in our lives because we decided to have children.
Yes.
Yeah, and the children
not them decide to have us.
That's right. And the children don't come with directions, you understand? But they come with needs.
And no two children are alike.
They're all
Absolutely.
different, right?
Yes.
Right.
So
every last one of them is different.
yeah, you got to do what's best for the child, because if not, when they're older, you're going to see the results of you being selfish. Let me say that.
Yes.
Yes.
'Cause I know our oldest child, you know, she was a angel. And our second child was
she's sweet, but she's straight to it.
Yep, adventurous and very dramatic, and
She's not dramatic, not to me. She's just straight. She's very protective.
yeah, she is.
She is protective, man.
She is, but she
I would
kept
call
me.
her off the roof. I said, "Whoa,
Yeah, she kept me going.
nobody gonna do that to your parents."
Yeah, she kept me going them younger years, and we had to. Yeah, she was a very adventurous. She kept me going.
Had to adjust.
But it was on us to discover, because she's a combination of us both.
Right.
Yeah.
So one of us was adventurous.
It was a joy. Though. Never a dull moment.
And you said you talked about counseling. So you had great counselors in the school?
I was really close to my counselors, and
That's
like
good.
I just never understood why I was so close to them.
Mm-hmm.
But then I realized because like they used to watch me around school and how approachable I was. I was real approachable in school, even
That's
at like
good.
even at a young age. A lot of my like students, even people that I really didn't talk to, would come up to me and talk to me about their problems, and I was helping people through their problems literally throughout my school years since I started school. I never understood why I had such a way with words and helping people, but I liked the way it felt. So I just didn't want to stop doing it.
That's good. That's good that you didn't disconnect. Okay, or withdraw. Okay, but people are still drawn to you, so you connect with those who was drawn to you.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, Dad, you talked to us like you started doing your homework when it comes to ADHD, and there's a difference between boys and girls.
Yes, ma'am. The whole difference right between boys and girls is that the girls, they find a way to cope throughout life, and they're not really diagnosed until they get in their 30s.
Really?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
You know, that's when they start realizing that they got issues that they want to talk to somebody, like forgetting things,
Right.
paying bills, not being good with money. So the women start to realize it when they get older.
Right.
But the boys start to recognize it like right away because they hyper or they talkative. They can't be still. So they always. So that's like the biggest difference right between boys and girls.
Okay.
The women don't recognize it until they get much, much older.
That's
Because they know how to contain it a whole lot better.
okay.
So it's not like most of them stereotype people. Like, let's say boys are supposed to jump around and be wild, and girls supposed to sit there in the corner and be all dainty and nice. It's kind of stereotype.
Right. I mean, it's kind of sort of true. You know what I'm saying?
But the girls gotta contain it.
Right. I mean, because see, you can rule off something that a young girl is doing as just doing something.
Right.
But it's just like that. It's just like that little boy. You know what he's doing. Because he's acting out.
Right.
He's looking for attention. He's looking for somebody to talk to him. He's done with his work. So he needs you to be finished, or if not, he's gonna mess with you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you got all these different things that happen in these young boys that don't happen in the young girls.
Yeah, I can just picture in the little Superman outfit jumping off the roof of the house. I can fly.
Right.
Jesus.
Right.
So, DeQuan, you talked about also how track, and you recognize how you need to put that energy to work, right?
Indeed.
Yeah. Talk about it.
So, growing up, like I've always wanted to get into sports, just really didn't know what I was good at. So, how my grandma used to talk about her daughter, which is my mom, she used to talk about how she ran track and everything, and how she had records at the school she went to.
Wow. Okay.
So the moment I heard about that, I said, you know what? I know what I'm going to do. So it was 8th grade year, my first time ever playing sports, my first time ever getting into track. And by the end of that season, I had my first medal. So I knew that this was going to progress quite nicely.
Okay.
So as I got older, as I got into high school, my freshman year, more medals came, more publicity came. I really got looked at by a lot of people just because I was fast, just because I could move in a way that other people couldn't move. And even as a young person in high school, I became a young captain as well. So I was a captain of seniors. A lot of seniors didn't like that because I was a freshman and I was a sprinting captain, and everybody was looking at me like, how is this happening?
Yeah.
And I'm just like, y'all have to realize that I'm not a captain by choice. I worked for this. Like, my coach seen what was in me, and he put it was me and this other senior. Me and him were co-captains, and it was just nice to like, you know, talk to somebody who understood the sport a little bit more than I did. So I learned a lot. I understood the sport, and through my years, I just got better, and it was nice. But I also played football. It kept me. I played football to keep myself in shape so I could continue to run track. Different types of speeds, different types of sports, but they help each other.
Okay.
It was like with track, it helped with my running, my breathing, and endurance. With football, it helped with my takeoffs, my short burst of speeds to contain. But with track, that short burst of speeds could, to extent, I could full sprint a whole football field and not be gassed out at the end zone. It shook a lot of people.
Right.
It was just nice to use my speed and my talents for something that I was really good at.
Before we end this session, I want you to talk about a little bit briefly how the ADHD, how it affected you in middle school, how it affected you mentally. You shared with us how you were withdrawn.
So in middle school, it was definitely a lot harder to understand because, like he said, they put you in classes and they put you in certain classes in certain areas, which mentally I knew I wasn't supposed to be there. So it just upsetted me because I felt less intelligent than my friends. I felt less intelligent than my sister. I felt less intelligent than a lot of people. Like, it really questioned my intelligence, and I really questioned myself a lot in middle school. Like, I really attacked myself mentally growing up in middle school because I just didn't understand why my sister was going so easily through these courses. My homies, my friends were going so easily through all of this, but I needed extra help. And sometimes I wouldn't even need it, and they would still give it to me. That was aggravating to me. And I really didn't understand why I needed extra help. And half of the time, I really didn't need it. But they still came, hey, we're going to take you out. And I'm just like, I'm already finished. I don't know why I need to leave. But, I mean, you're the teacher. I have to listen to you. I don't want to get in trouble. So I just...
And kudos to your dad for complimenting you on telling you how smart you are and building you.
Oh, yeah.
Kudos, Dad.
He is though. He is.
And he is. He really is.
That he learned how to, control his stuttering because he stuttered a lot growing up, and I did also. He did all that on his own. I mean, no, he is smart.
Yes, he is. He really is.
Yeah, he is smart.
Yeah, he is very intelligent. I picked that up when I met him. I said, very intelligent.
I pick up on a lot of things pretty quickly.
Yes.
And that's one of the perks of ADHD. We can really analyze things really quickly. Yes, it happens really fast, but at the same time, that's the way we think. We think so fast that it slows everything down to the point. Think of it like a superhero named like the Flash, and it's the Speed Force. Our mind is like the Speed Force, but we understand it because we understand the Speed Force to a certain extent. We don't understand it fully, but we understand it to dissect everything that you're trying to tell us.
Wow. Well, this is session 1. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
This went fast. Okay. Well, we like to give out the mental health hotlines because we never know who's listening. Okay.
Okay.
And so there is the 988. This is not ours personally, but the community. Okay. 988 hotline. There's a text 741 to 741. That's free 24/7. There's the NAMI. NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Illness. And you can go to their website and reach out to the state you live in. Of course, if there's nothing else, you can call 211 and 911. Just reach out and get help. Okay, Mr. Perry?
I see right now through life, just because you stutter, there is a way to you to succeed. I used to stutter a lot myself until I slowed everything down.
Yeah.
And once I did that, I was able to talk, communicate, and able to say my words. Not those complicated words, but those good words. Some of those complicated words I still have trouble with. And I just want to say, parents, do not be discouraged. Always give your kids hope and nurture and love. And you can come and keep God in it. And you can overcome anything. This has been Young People Nation. And remember, there is always hope.
Now it's time for the truth. The whole world been waiting. It's Young People Nation. 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 The whole world been waiting. Whatever you going through, I know what he gonna do. Don't matter the circumstance, we going back to the root. Keep going, keep going. Let that seed keep growing. You need peace and we know it. Now it's time to live holy. Young People Nation. You know what time it is. Young People Nation. Get ready, the time is here. Get ready, we vibing here. We about to let God in here. Young People Nation. It's Young People Nation. Yeah, do it for the heavens, you know where we going. Influenced by his love, you know we gotta show it. It's time to put the youth onto what God is doing. Cause I can tell you now, right now, that God is moving. It's Young People Nation.